guys, what's up? Today I am going to open the book of stories. This is the Goodness Through Stories segment, and I'm Natali. So, today my expectation is give you some new words. So, I recommend my segment to kids. So, from this program, for today, I have few folk stories. Sometimes you may know these, but today I have few words related to these stories with meaning. So I think it will be necessary for you. And so let's start. My first. So before we start, I should tell these are folk stories. Okay. So first story is Farmer Ben's boot. Farmer Ben had a farm, and on that farm he had 17 cows, 46 sheep, 39 goats, 62 geese, 49 white hens, a big red rooster, a dozen pigs, a couple of horses, 3 cats, and a dog called Sinka. What a lot of animals! Farmer Ben was a busy man. He had no time to stand around. He was busy from early in the morning till late night. Everywhere the farmer Ben went on his farm, Sinka followed closely behind. In the morning, Sinka ran to get the newspaper for Farmer Ben. Then when Farmer Ben had drunk his first cup of tea for the day, Sinka would get his boots. Farmer Ben had a smart pair of brown boots. He wore them all the day. They kept his feet warm and dry. You could always tell where Farmer Ben had been because there were footprints everywhere. One day, Farmer Ben sat drinking his tea. He was waiting for Sinka to bring him his boots, but Sinka was nowhere to be seen. Sinka, Sinka, he called, and she shouted, and after a few ages, Sinka came. But she was carrying only one boot. Now where is the other one? Asked Farmer Ben. Sinka sat in front of him with one paw on his knee. Her tail wagged. And so I'm going to tell the meaning of words that I met in this part of this story. So geese. Do you know who is geese? Geese is large waterfowl with webbed feet. Rooster, an adult male bird, a fowl. Dozen, a group of 12. Couple, 2 or a pair. And footprint, the mark made on the ground by a foot. So I'm going to move the next part of our story. Farmer Ben looked all over the house for his boot. Sinka looked, but she could not find it anywhere. Farmer Ben looked very funny that day. He walked with a boot on one foot and a shoe on the other. Did you realize that on one foot there is a shoe and other there is a boot? Oh my god. Now go and find my other boot, said Farmer Ben to Sinka. Sinka ran off to ask the other animals if they had seen Farmer Ben's missing boot. Sinka went to the field. Have you seen Farmer's boot? She asked the horses. No, the horses said we haven't. Sinka asked the cows, have you seen Farmer Ben's boot? No, said the cows, swishing their tails. Sinka ran over to the pigsty and asked the pigs, have you seen Farmer Ben's boot? No, they grunted and went back to their feed. Farmer Ben went hopping all over the farm, leaving funny footprints in the mud. Sinka did not give up. She went to see the hens. Have you seen Farmer Ben's boot? She asked. They did not answer. They went on scratching. Then Sinka asked the 46 sheep, the 39 goats, the 62 geese and large red rooster, but they all said the same thing. We have not seen Farmer Ben's boat. Now let us get on eating. Let's eating, please, they are saying. Okay, now I'm going to tell the meanings of the difficult words I seen in this part. Okay, so swish, move from side to side. Pigsty, a place where pigs are kept. Grunt, the noise made by a pig. Scratch, to scrape the surface of something. Okay, and the next part. Sinka was worried. No one had seen Farmer Ben's boot. Where could it be? Have you seen Farmer Ben's boot? Sinka asked the cat. No, said the first cat. No, said the second cat. Well, perhaps, said the third cat. It is funny you should ask. I was in the barn looking for mice in the morning. There were no mice there, but I did see a brown boot. Sinka did not wait. She ran to the barn, and sure enough, there was the boot. Sinka picked up the boot and rushed off to find Farmer Ben. How happy he was to see his boot again. What a good girl you are, said Farmer Ben. He took the boot from Sinka and patted her. I shall sit down right now and put it on, said Farmer Ben. So this is the last part of the story, okay? So Farmer Ben sat down and took off his shoe. Then he put the boot on. But oh dear, as Farmer Ben put on the boot, he jumped up in the air. He shouted and hopped about the yard. Farmer Ben kicked the boot off. It went flying high up in the air. Farmer Ben fell and landed in the mud with a thud. The boot landed with a thud in the mud right next to the Farmer Ben, and holding on to Farmer Ben's toes were 5 baby white mice. Poor white mice, they would have to find another home now. So guys, this is the end of this story, but I have more stories for you, and there are some few words. They are worried, felt in troubled. Barn, a large building on a farm used for animals or store things. Okay, now I'm going to play a song, and I'm going to take a lovely break, and I have some more few folk stories just made for you. So wait and listen, and I think sometimes you may got some words to know. So let's listen to a lovely break with a lovely song. The time right now is 2:31 p.m. and now I'm going to move to another story. The name of that story is The Nail. The Nail. In a small town, long ago there lived a tradesman. On the first Monday of each month, he saddled his horse. He placed a saddlebag over the horse's back. To this and to the saddle, he tied other bags. The tradesman bought many things. There were small but important things that people needed: knives, lathes, strings, matches, soap, salt, candle wax, wigs, small towels, ribbons, bowls, and even some colorful marbles. The tradesman filled his bags. Then he rode from village to village, ringing a bell. First, the children came running, then the woman, then the men. The children wanted sweets or toys. The women wanted trinkets or bangles. The men came to chat. They liked to know what was happening in far-off places. After selling some things, the tradesman mounted his horse and rode on. Every day he rode on. He sold things. He filled his purse with silver and gold. When his saddlebag was full of coins, he went home. Once at the end of the month, He, the tradesman was his way home. It was noon. He made a halt at a small town to have a lunch. Nearby there was a stable, a young stable, lad with fetching water for the horses there. "Hey boy," called the tradesman, "look after my horse. Give it some water and hay, and don't open the saddlebag." The boy nodded, and the leg led the horse away. After his lunch, the tradesman went to the stable. "Excuse me, sir," said the boy, "your horse is missing a nail in the shoe on the left hind foot. I can fix it if you like." "No, no," replied tradesman. "As long as the saddlebag is not missing, I'm happy." Okay, so there are some words to tell, some difficult words, so I will tell the words with the meaning. First one is tradesman, a person who buys and sells things for living. Saddle, a leather seat for a rider. The verb is put a leather seat on a horse. Ladle, a long-handled spoon. Wick, a cord or twisted material used in lamp. Trinket, a small ornament. Stable, a building shelter horses. Stable lad, a boy or man who looks after horses. At the back, such as an animal's hind legs. So, next part. It's not safe on the road at night. I must get home. The shoe will be all right for 5 or 6 hours. He gave the boy a coin, mounted the horse, and picked up reins. He clicked his tongue and the horse moved forward. After the afternoon, the tradesman arrived at another town. He found a place to rest and have some food. He also found a stable. After his rest, tradesman went to fetch his horse. "There is a nail missing in one shoe," the boy told the tradesman. I can have it fixed." "No, no," replied the tradesman. "It will last for an hour or two. I am in a hurry." It was getting dark. The tradesman rode off. After an hour, the horse slowed down. The tradesman tried to make it go faster. In the middle of the forest, the horse began to limp. Then it stumbled. The tradesman clicked his tongue and dug his heels into the horse's slide. The horse slumped on. Then it fell and broke its leg. The tradesman left the horse. He put the heavy saddlebag of coins on his shoulder and went on. Now it was so dark he could not see. Soon he heard some men close by laughing and talking. He was frightened. The sounds got louder. The tradesman ran, but in the dark he tripped and fell. The saddlebag fell into a ditch. It burst open and the coins went everywhere. The tradesman picked himself up quietly and ran and ran and ran. At last he found the road. Some time after midnight he got home, and he banged on the door and his wife let him in. He told his wife the whole story. His wife just shook her head. "Dear me," said his wife, "you bought many things. You worked for a month. You sold many things. You made lots of money. And now it's all gone. So it's your horse. All this for the want of a nail." Oh my God. So this is the end of this story. So I have a lot. I have more. So if you want to listen to them, do you want to listen them? But I think now I want a break. So do you like to listen a song? Okay guys, let's listen a lovely song. The time right now is 2:41 p.m. So I think I finished 2 stories, and I think that you collected some new words for your dictionary, for your vocabulary. So the next story is walnuts and pumpkins. Once long ago, a clever man called Janapati went on a long journey. It was not so long ago. There were no cars, buses or trains to carry him on his way. Janapati had to walk. The journey was taking a long time, but Janapati did not mind. He sang, he whistled, he talked himself. He also thought about the greatness of God. He had plenty of time. After walking a long way, Janapati felt tired. He sat down under the shade of a tree. "I shall rest here," said Janapati to him. Janapati sat quickly under the tree. Then he lay down and looked up into the branches. The tree was not just any old tree, it was a walnut tree. Janapati looked at the strong trunk. He looked at the branches. He studied the shape of the leaves. He saw some walnuts on the branches. He studied them too. Janapati could see every part of the sea, but his mind was not on the tree at all. He was thinking about the greatness of God. Janapati sighed loudly. "Ah," he said, "God is truly great. God is truly good. God has made so many things, so many good things, so many beautiful things, so many useful things. But..." And here Janapati stopped speaking aloud. He looked around to see if anyone was passing. It was a lonely place. There was nobody there. So Janapati spoke aloud. "God is truly great," said Janapati. "God has made this wonderful walnut tree. But was it wise to make it like this? Tree is so big, but the nuts are so small." Janapati sat up. He looked and felt nearby. In the field there were some pumpkins. Janapati looked at them and smiled. "Aha," he said, "I thought so." The pumpkins were growing. He slept well. Soon he began to snore and to dream. In his dream, Janapati saw a row of trees. They were tall trees with strong branches. And on these branches, there were lots of pumpkins. "Yes, pumpkins," Janapati smiled in his sleep. The next thing Janapati saw in his dream was a field full of green vines. On each vine there were walnuts. The walnuts were not heavy, so the vines were not lying on the ground. They were strong enough to stand. Janapati smiled again in his sleep. Then a walnut fell from the tree and landed with a loud clunk right on the top of Janapati's head. Janapati woke up at once. "Ouch!" cried Janapati, sitting up and rubbing his head. "Ouch, ouch, ouch!" Janapati jumped up. He was angry. He looked up at the branches. He stopped rubbing his head. It was not really hurting at all. Janapati looked towards the sky. He held his hands up above his head and cried out, "God be praised, God be praised." Janapati felt so happy he began to dance with joy. Just then a traveler came down the road. The traveler stopped and started. He was surprised at Janapati's funny dance. "Good day," said traveler. Good day, cried Janapati. If it is not rude question," said the traveler, "can you tell me why you are dancing?" "I am happy," replied Janapati. "I am so very happy." "That's great," said the traveler, "but what is making you happy?" "I am happy because God is great," exclaimed Janapati. "God is wiser than I am." "How is that? I thought it would be better if walnuts could grow on vines," said Janapati. He pointed to pumpkin plants, "And I also thought that it would be better if pumpkins could grow on strong trees like this." Janapati put his arms round the tree. "But I was wrong," shouted Janapati. "I was quite wrong." "How?" asked the traveler. "Well, you see," said Janapati, "if this tree had pumpkins on it, I would be dead. I would not be dancing. I would be dead dead. A walnut fell on my head and woke me from my sleep. A falling pumpkin would have killed me, for sure. But the walnut did not hurt my head very much. I see, said the traveler. You must be very happy. I am, said Janapati. You must also see that God made this tree. God is great, God is good, God is wise. And Janapati never questions God's work ever again. So this story is based on an Indian tale. So I will tell the meanings of these stories, okay? So, journey, a trip from one place to another. Greatness, importance and fame. Walnut, a large nut with very hard shell. Lonely, having feeling of being alone. Pumpkin, a very large orange-skinned fruit that grows on a creeper. Vine, a plant such as a creeper or climber. Snow, the breathe noisily while sleep. Traveler, a person who goes from one place to another. Rude, not polite. Disrespectful. So that's all, guys. I think you got to know some words and some good things. And the time right now is 2:49, but after a few seconds it will be 2:50. So I think this is the end of my program, my segment. So what do you think about my segment? Is it good? And I think the words will be useful for you in some day. So guys, goodbye for all of you, and I'm going to move. So let's meet with another amazing segment on next Saturday, 18th of January. So let's meet on next Saturday.